Alright, peace. Check it out. Let me show these little tattoos first. I got a vibe out to show show my tats and all that. So I'm gonna show you a little back piece. Okay. On my back, I got Psalms 82. I got my name King U with my kids' names in it. And the U. I got Tiger and the Dragon meeting up to become one. That right there symbolizes the yin and the yang, positive and negative. Okay. I got man on fire, soul on ice. Life is war, love is a battlefield. That's something that's been true in my life. Love is a battlefield, means it's a place where you can stand and fight, the foundation for it, you know what I mean? To conduct your war. Anyway, I'm here to update you on my case. What happened is, last week on the 13th, I had a telephonic hearing, 15 minutes. This is one of the reasons why I made this video in the first place, because they're refusing to bring me back into a courtroom, which, you know, I mean, it's an exaggerated situation. It's just because I have a little working knowledge and I'm prepared to defend myself, and they have actually no foothold on legal standing on why I should be here. They're just taking advantage of their positions. It's real gangster stuff, that's it. These people are not actually real law enforcers. They're enforcing their will, and they're coming under the title of law enforcement. They're not enforcing the law. Okay, anyway, what happened is the judge, I think his name is John Rambar, I think I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not sure, who I told you before was assigned to the 9th Circuit to oversee my case and hear my case from the 10th Circuit. Temporarily, he was assigned to the 9th Circuit for that purpose. Anyway, what happened is there were 6 defendants. There's the detective, David Felon, who's in the heading, and then there's the other 5 defendants, the 2 judges, the 2 prosecutors, and the public defender. Now, the only one of those defendants that is considered black is Detective Felon. The rest of them are Caucasians. This man, with no legal standing, with the state providing no legal argument, dismissed my case with prejudice against the 5 Caucasian defendants. Not the detective, but the 5 Caucasian defendants. He dismissed it with prejudice. They didn't even deny fraud in the court. Fraud in the court is something that's actually shunned by the court to the point that they would allow it to be reviewed at any time when it's presented and can be proven or shown or demonstrated to some extent. Okay, so this is because it undermines the integrity of the court. You understand what I'm saying? And which is, you know what I'm saying, the people's trust in the court is fundamental to the court's establishment. These people are actually, you know, basically spitting in the court's face and spitting on mine. These people didn't even deny fraud in the court. They just said that it's an old case. It's been over 10 years. But like I said, it's no time limitation on the presentation of fraud on the court. That means that there's still a conflict that's recognized by the court. These people are saying that there's no controversy, that it's all been established and there's no argument between me and them. And I'm showing them clearly a lawful presentation. But as a matter of fact though, they never filed it. They haven't filed it yet, as far as my understanding. As of yesterday, they had not filed it, where there's no record of this hearing ever taking place. But I'm just saying it, and I want people to be prepared. I want people to understand to prepare their children for this type of thing, because this type of thing is common in the state of Florida. Okay. Anyway, I know I'm not the only person going through this. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I just have the most continuous and blatant acts of prejudice demonstrated upon me that I've seen. I've never heard a story like this. I've never even read about one like this in a book. Okay, nationality and culture. You have choices in it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a choice in the color of your skin. That's what makes people who are prejudiced based on the color of a person's skin, demonstrate ignorance. Now, if it's a fear out of the fact that you've been betrayed multiple times by a certain type of person, it could cause you to have more, be extremely cautious and put up your defense when dealing with certain types of people. But if you don't have that, which most of these people don't have that type of interaction, with African Americans on a daily basis outside of their working in courts and stuff like that, they really, they're just perpetrating some, we already discussed this before. Anyway, I was also informed that part 3 of Revelation 2020 gets cut off in the middle of my sentence, one of my sentences. Okay, now I'm going to continue from where that's at. I just want to mention this though. Where I was with that. If I had been a Caucasian right now with a life sentence in prison, laying it out the way I laid out, this probably would have made world news. I mean, I can't imagine, but this is actually being suppressed. The numbers of the views and everything that I've done have been suppressed. I mean, these guys they got tech wizards at their disposal. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what it is. So please don't think that people are not viewing this. You know what I mean? And it's not worth riding for. Okay. Like I was saying, I was explaining that new slaves, people, I was explaining why grown men were unlikely to be newly chosen for slavery, and that's because they would actually be more likely to plot revenge and escape. Okay, so this is why they took these men most of the time, and back then people would consider grown men at 14 and 15. They took them at 14 and 15 and said, this is what they were doing, and they were easier to break in the mold at that point in time also, you know what I'm saying? But don't ever think that we were actually on. We always fall back in our ways, you understand, even if it was just to send a message. We were in bondage, we were enslaved, and we performed slave duties as a defense to the torture and the terrorism that we were subjected to. But at the same time, as you can see, we were never actually owned. We were just damaged. Okay? We were damaged severely. Okay? Now, you got people who's obsessed with the thought of us in bondage. Right now, you got people who's obsessed with that. And what they're doing is, they don't really realize that they're obsessed with it. They're walking around in ignorance of their own characteristics because they feel justified because it's so accepted into the minds of the American society. And even now, foreigners they come to this country and they see our situation and they think that there's something wrong with us. Actually, we're doing a magnificent job. Like I said before, we're doing a magnificent job considering what we've been through. Okay, it's funny how they like to punish us to the full extent of the law, but they don't protect us to the full extent of the law. I mean, everywhere you go out here in Florida, you got people who got outrageous sentences. I mean, there's no reason for them that you believe that they can't learn their lesson in a lesser time. It's just, they're warehousing us. It's a factory. You know what I'm saying? What they're doing is using us as an excuse and misdirection and getting funds which they don't really use and spend on us like that. Right now, in here, the water's off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You should see the living conditions in here, but that's a whole other topic, and there's a lot for me to talk about. So I just want you to know, this is definitely something that is bigger than me. This is something that's been around and is going to be around, and we have to learn how to deal with it as a society. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn how to overcome this fear of correcting ourselves. And one of the things that I love about America is the fact that it corrects itself. You understand what I'm saying? That we made a lot of progress. You know. Okay. But they're still holding my people to a higher standard. They're holding me to a higher standard than they're holding the judges and the lawyers in my case. These people can break all kinds of laws and they can get away with it. And me, I have to follow every little bit, every detail of the law just to get denied. But so I don't get denied faster and thrown out immediately, I have to cross my T's and dot my I's and all this type of stuff. These people are just reckless. I mean, I got jury instructions where other people have gotten off on the same thing. Well, they have, I'm not going to say gotten off, but they have gotten relief on the same thing. The fact that the manslaughter jury instruction had the word intent in it, which makes it harder to find a person guilty of manslaughter than it was second-degree murder. When manslaughter is supposed to be under a lesser included offense. So people are getting convicted. I mean, they have been. They decided that this was fundamental error. I had the same error in my case. I fall in the pipeline for relief because my case was pending by Florida law for about 8 days before the time expired, because I had happened to file a rehearing, and when that got denied, it postponed the time for my mandate, so I didn't receive my mandate for 8 days. So I fall into, my case was pending at the same time this case was pending, had been decided. Okay, so that means that I fall into the pipeline. These people won't even give me that relief. That means that I should at least go back to trial on the second-degree murder charge because it was a fundamental error in the jury instruction, something that they've already admitted was fundamental error. Also, there's a comma in the jury instruction that was fundamental error. When I file habeas corpus, this comma, because this comma now, what it does is it's an extra comma in the stand your ground law. The stand your ground laws, when my case was in the course, was anyone who is not engaged in an unlawful activity has the right and is attacked in any place where he or she has the right to be, has no duty to retreat, and has the right to stand his or her ground and meet forcible force, including deadly force, if he or she reasonably believes it is necessary to do so to prevent death or great bodily harm to himself or herself or another, or to prevent the commission of a forcible felony. That was 776.013, Section 3, back in 2006. Now, when they put an extra comma in it, there's a specific place in that they put it in, and when they put it in, they allow the jury to believe that you don't have the right to defend yourself against non-deadly force. Okay, so that would, and in my case, I specifically said that these people came at me with fists initially, okay, before I was struck with any kind of weapon, right? Now, me saying that could allow the jury to misinterpret it based on that comma, and I have a viable legal argument. I got these clerks, man. You gotta watch these clerks now. These clerks, they have all the power. They give the case to the judges. Now, if somebody bribes them or it tells them, hey, play with the case like this, they play with it, it's never seen. Okay, but when you file a habeas corpus, the state is supposed to say why you're not supposed to be entitled to relief. So that means that they have to respond. Now, in my case, they haven't been told to respond. They've been denying my case without even telling the state to respond on some of my when I presented some of my issues to the 5th DCF. Okay. Now, I also made a mistake. Well, I'm gonna say a poor choice in words when I was addressing some of the religious aspects I addressed earlier in this revelation. What I said was that Hebrewism, Christianity, Judaism, and Jehovah's Witnesses and so forth, in my perspective, these are all forms because they pray to the God of Abraham. These are all different traditions of celebrating Islam. Islam is older than the sun and the stars. The angels practiced that before man was made. You know, we're talking, you can take it symbolically, you can take it literally, however you take it. I'm talking about like that. I said that they didn't have to adhere to Mohammedan Islamic principles. Now, I was incorrect when I said that. It was a poor choice of words. I should have said traditions. But the principles should be the same with all of these demonstrations of worship to the Most High. Okay? Now, so I'm going to move on. Okay? And I want to restate my intentions. What my intentions are is to share myself, which they don't want me to do. But I especially want to share myself, you know what I'm saying, for my son Justice, my daughter Isis, my son Infinite. Okay? They don't have me, they didn't have me in their lives, and I want them to have some understanding of you know, what motivates me. You know, I see a lot of people crumble under this pressure, and I consider myself to have a little bit of strength and sustaining ability. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know if they're going to try to hide me. I don't know what they're going to do. They've been playing games with my DC number in some of my cases, which would make it hard for people to find me. If anybody has written me, I never got that. I never got your letters. Okay? They don't allow me to get that type of mail, which is unconstitutional. You know what I'm saying? They don't even, most of the time, you know, didn't know that somebody's mailed me anything at all. So, yeah, I got my nieces and my nephew. They love me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even know me as well as my kids. So somewhere along the lines, I don't know what happened. Because last time I saw them, they loved me to death. But you know, and I just don't know what happened. But this is about them. It's about me contributing to society. You know what I mean? When I say they, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the corrupt factions which have infiltrated this nation's law enforcement and government agencies. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be clear on that, you know what I'm saying? And I also want to make sure that the young children in the ghetto, they feel no shame in their heritage. You know, the minds of the corrupt is obvious. You know, even today they rely on oppression to validate their own self-esteem, you know what I mean? This nation has 25% of the world's prison population. 40% of its prison population are descendants of the slave trade, aka African American. Now what they do to make it seem like the numbers are kind of equal or, you know, balanced is I've seen Chinese people in here that have race established as white on their ID. All different types of people. I've seen even some dark-skinned people who race has been considered white. They're doing this to make it seem like it's a balance between the white and the black population in prison, and like they're not just, you know, singling us out. You know what I mean? So I want you to know that. But you know, we're only 12% of this nation's population. This nation is probably less than 5% of the world population. Okay, so what's happening is that people who are less than between probably 1.1, 0.2% of the world population. I mean, we're not even a whole percent that the descendants of the slave trade here in the United States, you know what I'm saying, are being held accountable for about 8% of the world's prison-worthy crimes. They're not doing it. Other people are getting so many chances. I mean, the human factor is accounted for in all these other countries. It's here that we're being held to this standard. You know, we got to be constantly observed and searched. And you know what I mean? Our communities are not allowed to live in peace. You know what I'm saying? They should allow us to have laws for our community. Laws that okay, you live in this town, or you live in this city, and where this is high capacity for this type of thing happening, and it's considered criminal in some cities. It should be a lesser punishment, or it should not even be considered criminalized in that city. You know what I mean? When there's a large amount of the population that indulges in it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And also I want to say that, you know, patience and composure. to the youth. Patience and composure, that's something that you should inherit. That you should, your parents, your father, you would probably obtain this. You know, I never did camping, hunting, fishing, picnicking, none of that type of stuff. I'm a city dude, right? I grew up in the concrete jungle. Yeah, I went through my stages where I was a real good boy, and I was a badass for a while. You know what I mean? Trying to figure myself out. You know what I mean? But you know, patience and composure is something that you will learn from observing somebody who's been through what you've been through, what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? And experiencing. You know what I mean? And this is something that our children are not being able to inherit. You know what I'm saying? So they're losing it. That's what it comes into dealing with these drugs. You know, it's hard for a fighter to quit anything. So it's hard for you to quit a drug. You know what I'm saying? You always think, oh, I'm going to do it this time, and I'm going to handle it better this time. I'm going to fight it. But once you get it on the inside, it has that control. You know what I'm saying? I do smoke marijuana. Okay? Now I'm going to say that. And, you know, now this is something that I don't hold to the same standard as I consider these manufactured drugs. Okay? So, but this is up to each his own, and I'm not saying for you to go out there and smoke that. This is something that I chose to do, and that I'm scared to go outside of that because I know I have an addictive personality. I already know if I tried the drug and it embarrassed me and I made a fool out of myself, I probably would try to tackle it again so that I could look cool or whatever. So I'm not going to allow myself to try anything. You know what I'm saying? I hold myself to a zero tolerance when it comes down to trying anything. And it's because of fear. I'm not afraid to say that I'm scared of these type of things. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that helps some people out. You know what I mean? Okay. I want to mention something about these, what they call gangs and stuff like that. You know, most tribes throughout history are responsible for many more murders and violent crimes than what these gangs are. You know what I mean? That's been established. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm talking about Bloods, Crips, G's, Vice Lords, Latin Kings, etc. You know what I mean? For example, the American Revolution and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there are those who, you know what I'm saying, break their righteous laws. But a lot of these things, you know, that you find in your neighborhoods and a lot of us are taught to despise, they actually have a lot of laws which are very righteous. You know what I'm saying? And with the right type of help from society, they can actually be a benefit to their communities. And this is what needs to be done because they're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's over 1 million Bloods in the world now. You know what I'm saying? You can't consider that a gang. It has to be considered a tribe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now, you know, you're going to lose a lot of your children to this if you feel like it's something that's not part of your community. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an outside element. It is. Your grandkids, your daughters might want to marry some of these brothers. You know what I'm saying? You have to be more understanding to what's going on. There's no way that we're going to have a low self-esteem and say we have nothing of our own. We're always going to try to make something of our own. And it might not be certified by, you know, some type of other person's judgment to say that this is certified and actually respectable and stuff like that. You know, we're going to respect ourselves and we're going to respect that. You know what I'm saying? I want these things to be understood. So maybe we can start dealing with these things from a realistic level where we could prosper. You know what I'm saying? As a people. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got Masons, frats, fraternities and stuff like that. And these people are actually putting themselves in positions of power in this country. They're actually, you know what I'm saying, some of them are actually more a threat to the government than what they call these gangs to be, because of the simple fact that they're manipulating laws in their favor, in the favor of their comrades. You know what I'm saying? They're gang members. You understand what I'm saying? They're not, I mean, maybe perhaps that's what I'm dealing with right now. And to me, it only makes sense that this is what I'm dealing with, is that somebody is part of some type of society and they're all backing each other up and holding each other's hands and singing songs against me, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, man. Listen, man, like I said, live with tenacity, die with honor. That's my goal in life. You know what I'm saying? To die with honor. So, you know, if you want to make me a martyr, or you want to, whatever it is you want to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it to the best of my ability to contribute. And, you know what I'm saying? I hope that somebody has the strength and the courage, you know what I'm saying, to utilize what I'm trying to give. You know what I mean? You know, everybody's pushing their own agenda. I'm hoping that mine has more in common with a lot of the more righteous people in this nation. Okay, the power of suggestion has misled and blinded us to reality. They constantly suggest there's something wrong with us and others, you know. That's what all this policing does, all this policing in the neighborhood, all this type of stuff. Back in the 40s and 50s, they didn't have this issue. You know what I'm saying? But now it's an issue because of the fact that we have misdirection. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be understood that the power of suggestion. If I said, oh, there's a beautiful woman with a nice body walking by right now, big breast and big booty, something like that, all of us are going to think about that for a second. Some of us are going to dwell on it longer. And that's what, you know, you have to realize that there's going to be suggestions made throughout your life, you know what I'm saying, that you have to decide to control your mind and put it back on track. Okay? Organize. A lot of us are scared of organization. But there's never been an independent king or queen. That's the trick. Independence is a trick. You know, the strongest man in the world gets taken out by organization. Okay? This organization is why human beings have survived so long on this planet against the forces of nature and the other creatures of the earth. You understand what I'm saying? We've got fangs and our predators and got claws and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we share information, the fact that we stand together. Okay? So organization is very important. You know what I mean? I want to mention some things about, you know, the young and what they go through. You know what I mean? Back in the days, this is why they used to have people already set up to marry other people and molding people to marry them, because marriage wasn't so much about love, but strengthening the families. Okay, and they knew that at 13, 14, 15, you're going to go through this puberty thing, and going through this puberty thing. What's going to happen is, you know, you're going to want to have sex, you're going to want, you know, and they give you somebody already made for you to have sex with, you know what I'm saying, to have a relationship with, to build a family with, you know what I'm saying, and this is why we don't have families staying together right now, because they're too caught up in the concepts. Right now, I'm going to pause this for a second. Anytime I try to pause this thing, it doesn't. Alright, peace. Okay, yeah. You know, so I want people to understand that, you know what I mean, that was a decision that was made a long time ago. Also, I want to mention something. I said some things about the female before, as far as the man had more than one woman. You know, me myself, I realize now, you know what I mean, that I'm not built for more than one woman. I'm not the greatest lover in the world or none of that, so I'm not even trying to, you know what I'm saying? But there was a time that I felt insecure about that, so I kept on going. And I want to apologize to my kid's mom, because she was giving me some babies young and stuff like that, and you know, for some of my insecurities back then. All right. Also, but I want to mention this though, because I noticed that there's a lot of men who can handle more than one woman, and it's something that, you know what I'm saying, and there's a lot of women who can't handle having a man who's dealing with more than one woman, and they're at peace with that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to say this: a human female is the only female creature that I'm aware of that needs help giving birth. Has to raise her child for 18 years to give it all this information for it to be ready for the world adequately. You know what I'm saying? They always, throughout history, I believe that women are the ones who came up with this more than one wife thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they needed this help. You know what I'm saying? I believe that, you know, men, they used to go off to war. It takes 6 months to get to the fight where they go, the place where they're going to fight. Then it's going to take about a year and a half back coming back because they're hurt and they're grabbing all these stuff they got from the victory, what they call booty or whatever, winnings or whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So there, a lot of times there was women sticking with each other and they was there. I believe also that there's a difference between what they call homosexuality between men and women. I believe that you know, the woman has been the comforter for both male and female from the earliest times, you know, with a male and female sucking their breasts, you know, in the bed, this, that, and the other. They're used to that. Also, that women cannot penetrate each other with the sexual organ. So they really can't have sex with each other. You see what I'm saying? And I never really seen anything in the Bible or in the books about that. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a scholar. But to the extent that I have knowledge, I have not seen anything regarding that. So I don't believe that a woman can actually be homosexual to that extent. You know what I mean? I believe that a woman should always consider having a man and being productive as far as having children. You know what I mean? This is my personal beliefs, but I'm sharing it with you. Okay? But as far as it goes, I believe there's a big difference, and that actually these things would help out men like me in prison. Being able to have their woman have another woman, but not a man out there. You know what I'm saying? To help her through her struggles while she's out there holding him down in here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna move on. I got something I want to look at. Yeah. So I want to tell the youth to put yourselves in positions of power. You don't know what to do. You don't know what your purpose is. Your purpose is to defend your kind, to protect them from this the corrupt factions that are gunning for us. Okay, so if you don't know what to do, pull yourself together and start preparing yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Okay, train, exercise. Even if you got to start off, you're in bad shape, 10-15 minutes a day, that's cool. Add 5 minutes next week, bam, then you'll be building up from there. Okay, study. No matter how long it takes you to start comprehending these things, you can comprehend these things. You got dudes studying football statistics, and they know them right like the back of their hand. If you can do that, you can do law work. Okay? Don't underestimate yourself. Just be patient with yourself. Okay? Be focused, and inch by inch, you'll achieve progress. Okay? Also, so you're all drafted. All right? I'm looking at my notes right now. That's why I'm looking like this. All right? I want you to know that we're being herded and funneled towards consumerism. And when I say that, I'm saying it not because there's something so wrong with consumerism, but because not being productive means that you're going to be always dependent. Okay? This is something that the government should help us, especially the citizens of the slave trade, with us to become more productive. They should give us areas and training where we can be more productive, specifically because of the fact that we were raped and pillaged for so long as a people. Okay, and we're being funneled toward consumerism. As far as everything entertainment. Okay, that's cool. You can make a lot of money from it, this, that, and the other. And they got all of us gunning for that to be entertainers and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's nothing. Let's say there's a crisis, a time of war, where God forbid America's invaded or something like that. How can we provide for ourselves? We're just going to be hanging on people's coattails. Entertainment is not going to matter, and stuff like that. We need to be able to provide for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be more productive. There's a lot more, I'd say, brilliant minds than mine who can contribute better ideas than I would in regards to these type of things and with everything that I'm speaking of. You know what I'm saying? But my position is to be the one to bring us together at the cost of my life. Okay, now, like I said, the government should provide programs specifically geared to give us the leverage and opportunity. Okay? Despite all of this, I'm inclined to believe this country and believe in this country. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud that my forefathers' unyielding devotion to freedom, regardless of the odds, upon the slightest opportunity provided by the establishment of the United States, despite centuries of slavery, inspired the Emancipation Proclamation in less than 100 years of the establishment of this union. I'm proud of the fact that we are always learning and correcting ourselves as a nation. Okay, so I want this to be understood. You know what I'm saying? The United States is not responsible for the whole 500 years of slavery. And once it was established, in less than 100 years, progress was immediately acted upon and started to be made. So I congratulate this United States on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Basically, this is what it is, man. You know, I'm just trying to contribute. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm from the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I'm American. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? You got people like me all over that are not being heard. You know what I'm saying? Some people might not be able to even articulate it as well as I am, and I'm not that good at it as I can see. I'm sitting here pausing and stuttering sometimes and stuff like that. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that I've accomplished more than a lot of people. A lot of my friends didn't make it this long. My mother told me that I probably wasn't going to live to be, well, she said, you're not going to live to be 16. My mother, I love my mother, right? But she told me that when I was 14 because of the way I was running around, you know what I'm saying? And it caused me to have a little bit of, move a little bit more strategically, but I still was out there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I'm, I was a very good boy in my early years, but I'm a bad boy who became a good man, okay? And I will always be a bad nigga. I will never be a good nigga. But in chess, even a king moves out of the way of pawns and respects the strength of a pawn. So you might see me and say, hey, why you ain't go ham? Why you ain't going ham? Because it's chess, not checkers, alright? It's my decree that all prototypes and ghetto children, descendant of the slave trade, and our allies had the option of using this information that I'm given to prosper. I am the Titan, Supreme Emperor King Universal. And I'm signing off with that. Love. There I go again, struggling with these things. Anyway, put like this. One day I'm gonna be savvy at this or whatever, if I get the chance. I don't know how you guys do it out there. This technology and stuff. I used to work construction for almost 12 years. That's when the coalitions and the unions out there in New York. I was local 29, blasted drill runners and miners union. Before they start messing with my work, that's when I got into dealing with the dances and all that. Trying to find a way to survive. Anyway, loyalty is royalty. Live with tenacity and die with honor.